What's up, y'all? It's Jeff Lacey Jr. here with the Ball Sports Network, and it's been reported that top prospect in the 2014 NBA draft, center Joel Embiid out of Kansas, has a stress fracture in his right foot. Now, this is major news because this can potentially affect the entire 2014 draft. Embiid is definitely a top 3 prospect, and a lot of people had him as the favorites to go #1 to the Cleveland Cavaliers. He's their favorite, supposedly, to everybody. But now with the stress fracture in his right foot, it's most likely that his stock is going to drop. Now, where his stock dropped, nobody knows. How this affects the 2014 draft is now Cleveland must decide who are they going to choose at #1, Andrew Wiggins out of Kansas, or Duke's forward Jabari Parker. Now, Embiid, I think, is a great talent. I mean, to a lot of people, he has the highest ceiling. Personally, I think Wiggins has the highest ceiling. But to a lot of people, he has the highest ceiling. Mainly because the NBA was founded on great big men. And right now, there's not too many great, dominant big men besides people like Tim Duncan. It's been doing it for years in and years out. And everybody knows that if you have, normally the team with a pretty solid big man has gone on to win championships. I mean, if you look down the history of the NBA, most champions, besides recent teams like the Heat and the Dallas Mavericks, even though Dirk Nowitzki was a 7-footer, most teams had an established center, a low post force in the middle, and that's what everybody has been craving for, and for years in and years out, they've been craving for that low post center that can dominate the middle and help them go on to win championships, and that's even caused them to reach for certain draft picks. And so with Embiid having injury problems, he's already been known to have injuries. He had an injury back in college with his back, which caused him to miss the final, I think, 3 games of the season, including Kansas' only a loss in the tournament. So with him already having injury problems, that draws concern to any team that's going to draft him. I mean, it doesn't matter where you're at. If you draft Joel Embiid, especially in the top 5 picks, he's a concern. I mean, you don't want to have another Greg Oden nightmare. I mean, that's what every team fears, because Greg Oden was just as great a talent. Actually, Greg Oden was rated higher as a prospect coming out of college than Joel Embiid is today. And I mean, there's nothing you can do if your body fails you. Greg Oden was a talented young star and would have been great in the NBA, but if your body fails you, there's nothing you can do. I mean, there's just simply nothing. And Joel Embiid has the potential to be great. I mean, he's even drawing comparisons to Hakeem Olajuwon. I mean, that's how big people are on this guy. And even in the workouts, he's great. But, I mean, none of that matters if he has a bad back and a bad foot. I mean, there's nothing you can do, because if he can't play on the court, you're just wasting your money. So, I mean, so the teams in the top 5 of the draft have, teams in the top 5 have a big decision to make. Should they draft Joel Embiid and take the risk and maybe have a potential future Hall of Fame or a potential superstar on their hands, or they could once again draft him and have an injury-prone, another sad story in Greg Oden or Sam Bowie for all we know. That's something the Cleveland Cavaliers, the Milwaukee Bucks, the 76ers, the Orlando Magic, all those teams in the top 5. I mean, the Utah Jazz, they all have, a decision to make. Should they take Joel Embiid or should they let him slide? And it's another thing. If he starts to slide, how far will he slide? Will he slide out the top 10? Will he slide to 6, 7, 8? I mean, who knows? And that's all I have to say today. Once again, my name is Jeff Lacey Jr. with Ball Sports. You can subscribe to my YouTube channel. I do daily videos. I'm also on ballsports.com, brothersonsports.com. Once again, Jeff Lacey Jr. Thanks for listening. Peace.